slim, trim, and sugar-free. What's up, Tanja? I see my sister in here, Dr. Latanja. One thing I learned was that, if I really was serious about trying to lose weight, I had to stop bullshitting myself, and I had to actually get up and go and really be serious about what I said I was going to do. We regularly talk all day about, what we're going to accomplish this and accomplish that. And I'm going to tell you like this, 99% of the people in the world set a goal and never accomplish that goal. Most of the people I know, I'm talking about a ton of potential, could have did everything, and they'll tell you that. They'll even tell you, like, yeah, man, I could have did this and could have did that, but if I had worked hard. And I always try to figure that out. I always try to figure out, like, what's the difference between the people that just do all the yapping and those who are actually clapping when they actually achieve the goal. And I figured out the difference between those who do the yapping and those who do the clapping is execution. Execution is so huge. And the thing about execution that I learned about myself was that even though I'm a pretty good executor, I executed a lot. In college, I kicked so much ass in college that they literally called, I'm certifiably insane, in case you haven't followed my podcast before. Just so you know, I'm crazy, and I know I'm smart enough to know how crazy I am. But in college, I remember that they had an issue because all the other black students were taking like 12 credit hours, 15 credit hours, 18 credit hours. The white lady called the Minority Affairs office, because that's where they call when the Negroes start doing stuff they don't understand. They said, we got a student here that wants to take 27 credit hours in one semester. And the guy, I'll never forget his name. His name was Buzz Burnham. Love this man to death. He's still at the University of Kentucky, I think. Buzz said, well, how's he doing in his classes? They said, well, he's got straight A's, but he said, well, leave him alone then. Let him do what he wants. And I love it because he helped me pursue black excellence. Black excellence for me was, I want to go as far as I can go until the wheels fall off. I want to push until this shit breaks down. I want to see how great I can be in this life, because you got one life, one shot. If you don't use it, you're gonna lose it, period. So ultimately, that was my mindset back then, and that's what I decided. I made a conscious effort to be crazy, and so ultimately, I think being crazy is good in this world that we live in, because we live in a world with a lot of mediocre motherfuckers. And I'm gonna stop cussing. That's my last cuss word for today, I promise, until I break the promise, in which case I'm gonna have to apologize again. But seriously, we live in a world of just mediocrity. Mediocrity is encouraged. You got little children where they're like, oh, let's give the little fat kid a first place trophy like everybody else because we don't want to hurt his feelings. No, you hurt his little feelings, you little fat ass. Get your ass up and do something with yourself. You can do better than that. No, take that donut out of your hand. You don't need to put that cupcake down. Get your chubby ass up and run. You can do it. And why am I okay with that? And I know little fat kids crying. I'm like, oh, that's so mean. Boyce is mean to the little fat kid. Well, the reason that you do that, honestly, especially with your boys, is because if you don't push your children, the world's gonna jack that kid up. The world is gonna hurt his feelings in ways that you can't even imagine. Well, your son's sitting there getting raped in the penitentiary because he's the little fat kid with the juicy ass, and they all want to take turns on him, and all because there wasn't a man in his life to make him man the fuck up. So, in my opinion, I know I'm going on a whole different rant because I'm actually gonna talk about a black man here in a minute. I'm gonna be real careful because I want to show respect while at the same time being honest. But seriously, if you don't force your boy to man up, then the world is going to annihilate him. The world is going to make fun of him. They're going to hurt his feelings. They're not going to love him or protect him the way you will. They're going to destroy him. They're going to have him, his chubby ass, jumping off a bridge when he's 35 years old. So I'm just telling you, like, there's something, I always talk about the fact that we shouldn't have black boys who are better at sports than they are at reading, writing, math, and starting businesses. I always say that, but one thing I love about that tough football coach is that tough football coach, he ain't going to cry with you. He gonna tell you, no, you get your ass up and you get back out on that field, and they hit you in the mouth, you stand back up and you fight again. That's one of the few places in this society where black men learn how to fight. That's just a fundamental fact. I know somebody said Boyce is tripping. Yeah, you're right, Kenyatta. I am tripping. My daughter's middle name is actually Kenyatta. You said yours is Kenyatta. Kenyatta was the name of my baby brother who died at birth, and so I gave my daughter his middle name. So anyway, long story short, that was what was on my mind today. And as I jump into this conversation that I wanted to have for the podcast, LaVar Ball. Okay, LaVar Ball is definitely an interesting guy. He's definitely a character. He's definitely done a great job of marketing himself. Everybody's talking about him, so he's doing well. And that's just in case you guys don't know, that's one of the rules of business. One of the rules of business, honestly, is that there's no such thing as bad publicity, just so you know. LeVar Ball, so I give him credit. He should be teaching a class at Harvard Business School because he's able to achieve things with his style of marketing that they don't teach in the best business schools in the world. And I've attended them, I've taught at them. I turned down Columbia University for my PhD. So I've been around the smartest and the best. And I'm going to tell you, what LeVar Ball is accomplishing is extraordinary. He got Jay-Z on video saying that he bought 3 pairs of LeVar shoes. Now, me, I'm not gonna buy LeVar shoes because I don't spend $400 on shoes. No. You know, the shoes I get on, I'm wearing some, let me show you what I wear. I got some slippers on. And these slippers, I don't know what design it is because they're so cheap that there's no design on them. But I think that they might be called the Walmart brand. And I paid $9 for these shoes. And you know what? They feel so good on my feet. When I go running in the morning, the shoes I wear when I run cost maybe $12. Seriously, I'm not joking. $12. Because I just, I can't understand the logic of spending $400 for some shoes. Now, with that said though, LeVar should be congratulated because LeVar is very wealthy. So apparently his plan worked. A lot of times you can't really achieve the level of national attention that LeVar has without having at least half the country hate you. Like you look at Barack Obama, half the country hates Barack Obama. Half the country thinks he's a Muslim terrorist, that he's the Antichrist, that he's super gay, and that he's a drug addict. These are all the rumors that you see, kind of floating around Barack Obama. But then there's the other half of the country that thinks he's a superhero. And so ultimately, that's kind of what it is. With LeVar knows that people are going to hate me, but they're going to be talking about me, and that's why his business is successful. And in that regard, he deserves to be congratulated. Now, here's a move that LeVar made that I don't really completely understand. I'm not going to say it's wrong. I'm not saying he's tripping, but I'm saying I need to kind of understand what the end game is with this. So here's what LeVar said. LeVar recently made a statement where he basically said that his son, I think his son's name is Lonzo. His son Lonzo plays for the Lakers. And LeVar basically said that Lonzo will not re-sign with a team if they do not take his 2 brothers with him. Right, so he's got 2 brothers. I think they call them Jello and Mello. I think those are their nicknames. I don't know their real names. Y'all can help me know their names. But basically, he said, to the Lakers and everybody else, look, my sons will sign with whatever NBA team will take all 3 of them, and y'all should want to do this. Because if you do, then we're going to win championship after championship after championship because they're so great, and when they play together, they can make magic happen. Okay, that was probably really true at the high school level. I mean, my God, I imagine, any team that had the 3 of them on it together probably did win, like, the city championship and the state championship, and maybe even become nationally ranked in the high school level. But when you talk about the NBA, that's a whole different level of competition. That's you're talking about the best players in the world, right? So what you think is going to work, in many cases it doesn't work. The NBA is a place where even the greatest college players of all time have gone to the NBA and become complete busts. I'm talking about guys where you just swore that this person can score on anybody, anytime, anywhere, and simply cannot be stopped. He gets to the NBA, and then guys are stopping him. And so, you look at his sons. His other 2 sons are good. His youngest son is a mega star. His youngest son's like maybe ranked 7th in the country among high school kids, which is good. That's really, that's extraordinary. That's pretty amazing. His middle son, the one at UCLA, he's good enough to play at UCLA, but a lot of people feel that he kind of got sandwiched between 2 great players. A lot of people feel that the reason he got a chance to play at UCLA before he got, had that whole stupid shoplifting incident in China. I mean, my God, you get pop like trying to shoplift in China, like you stealing Gucci in China and you got millions of dollars in the bank. That right there says something about your intelligence level. But then again, he's 18. We all do stupid stuff when we're 18 years old. But a lot of people felt that the middle son was benefiting from the talent of the oldest son and the youngest son, that the middle son was sandwiched between greatness, which elevated him, which got him into UCLA. They were like, oh, we loved your brother, and I'm sure Lavar maybe went in there, Daddy went in there and said, if you get my son, you got to bring my other son, and then you'll get a shot at getting my third son. So I think that may have played a role in him getting there. That happened when I was in high school. I used to go to school with this guy named Allen Houston, who was a really good player in high school, and very smart, by the way. Allen used to be in all the advanced classes. I wasn't. I was in the classes for stupid kids back then because I didn't really know what my potential was, and I didn't like school. But Allen would be in the advanced kids classes making straight A's. I'd walk by the room and peek in, and he'd be sitting there studying. He was the only black kid in there too. God bless him for that. And he was a great basketball player. And I remember that the University of Tennessee, in order to get Allen to come play for them, if I'm not mistaken, they hired his dad to be the head coach. So they kind of brought them both in at the same time. Yeah, Master BP says, I remember Allen Houston. Yeah, Allen was great. Allen went to the NBA. He made over $100 million. Whenever they played the Bulls, he would guard Michael Jordan. That's how good he was. He went to the NBA Finals. He had some breakout games in the finals. Great player. And so I guess that's how these deals kind of work, right? Kind of like, okay, you take one, you take the other one, like dating. You know, like you date the pretty girl and she got a child, you got to date the baby, the child and the mama too. You got to date them both. You can't have one and not the other. It's a package, right? So that's what he's trying to do, right? Which is noble and honorable. I mean, that's cool and everything. It's a good feel-good moment. And what it is it's kind of a simple negotiating strategy that companies use all the time. Almost like when you watch a pay-per-view fight. And what do they do? If you're watching the Mayweather fight, you never just really see the Mayweather fight. You see the Mayweather fight attached to a whole bunch of other shit that you don't want to see, right? You're like, well, first, before the Mayweather fight comes on at 10, that'll be last. Before that, you got to watch, 3 fights from a bunch of people that you've never heard of before, because that's the only way they can get your attention is the fact that you're there to see Mayweather. So it's done all the time. It's a standard kind of business negotiating strategy. That's cool. Here's my problem with Lavar's statement, right? My problem with it is that the Mayweather negotiating strategy works largely because you've got a Floyd Mayweather. You've got a guy that people will do anything to have a chance to see. He doesn't have a Floyd Mayweather type athlete in his family. He does not have none of his sons, in my opinion, have shown the level of potential necessary to be able to have that much weight in a negotiation. I think that you could pull it off with a Michael Jordan type player. LeBron could pull that off. Shaquille O'Neal could have pulled.